Belgrade. And they now are receiving their instructions from the American referee, Rudy Ortega. So we are now going to be underway here with Parlov, of course, the overwhelming favorite of the fans here. They just absolutely idolize him. It has been quite a sight, quite an experience to see in the past couple of days since he arrived in town from his home up in Tula, to see how literally everybody on the streets and buses, street corners recognized him. Anybody who saw him knew who he was. We're underway at round one. On your left, John Conteh in white. Conteh Parlov in blue, now circling to your left. Conteh Parlov, 21 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. The loss in the draw to Matt Franklin of the U.S. John Conteh, 31 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 22 knockouts along the way.
John Conteh trying to set a pattern. You got to fight pressure with a left-handed fighter, a southpaw to put it exactly. But he's going to find a very awkward guy in Parlov. He's not that easy to get to, and very difficult guy to figure out because he had sort of a stutter type of movement. He's a real good fighter and a good champion.
So what Conteh has to do is move to his left, keep his left foot outside of Parlov's right foot. I think he's doing a pretty good job so far. Let's see if he keeps it up. It really takes concentration. Conteh is southpaw.
Conteh has been sparring against the tall southpaw from London, Tommy Kyle, during his training here in Belgrade. Conteh weighed in at 173, easily under the 175 limit. Some speculation that Parlov had a little trouble making the weight, but he does look very fit. He came in exactly at 175.
Conteh's making a mistake of trying to figure Parlov's style out. He's not going to figure it out. It's going to be there all night long if he stays there waiting. He's got to be more aggressive. He's got to take the fight to Parlov.
Shook Parlov up with a pretty good short right hand that time. But what your right hand, what he has to do, he has to make a fight out of it. Then he has to catch Parlov with that left hook in those exchanges.
Parlov's last fight, a non-title bout on April 30th of this year, knocked out Tony Green in 6 rounds at Sarajevo. Conteh fought last in February. Decision, Joe Copes, another American.
Parlov's pretty slick. He's stepping on Conteh's toes with his right foot as he goes in with a jab.
There's that left hook. That's going to be Conteh's big punch tonight.
Less than 30 seconds remaining in the first round. Tim Ryan, Angelo Dundee, Gil Clancy. Red Star Stadium in Belgrade. This stadium, home of one of the 2 soccer teams in Belgrade. Partizan is the other, and they have their own similarly sized stadium.
5 seconds.
Final seconds.
Kings at home.
Well, they left Parlov's eyes alone. They haven't done a thing to them. They haven't put any Vaseline on, so I guess those patches are holding up. They didn't get them all off. And Conteh seems very calm in his corner, taking a nice deep breath and ready to go for round 2.
Rudy Ortega, the American referee, at the rules meeting today, made it very clear he was going to watch for all fouls, and I know that we talked in the Cuello fight from Milan about the rather odd left jab that Parlov has. Maybe you fellas can get into that if you see it occur here in the second round.
Well, there are times when he throws a chopping jab, it's almost a backhand, but he hasn't done it yet tonight. He's been using a pretty good straight left hand tonight. Or straight right hand, I should say.
Conteh in his last fight suffered a cut over his left cheekbone, Gil, and it's showing up pretty good from the the jabs that Parlov's using. You'll notice the way it's showing up when it'll get worse as it goes along. I expect Conteh to be opened up with that left jab. It's really a right chop, actually.
Well, I'll tell you, even if he does open up on a cheekbone, Angelo, it's not a dangerous area. I mean, there's no way they should stop a fight if a fellow does get cut on a cheekbone.
is round 2, scheduled for 15, the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship. Parlov has said if he wins here tonight, he would like to fight Victor Galindez, the WBA champ, clear up the Light Heavyweight Championship, and he'd like to have that fight at Madison Square Garden in New York. Said there are many Yugoslavs living in New York City, and he'd like them to have a chance to see him. He's got to get by Mr. Conteh here tonight in order to have that opportunity.
You know, as you said, Angelo, Conteh is trying to figure Parlov out. There's no way you're going to figure out Parlov. He's a great technician. What you have to do is fight him. You have to walk in there, move your head, and start throwing punches. I know it's more easy to say than do, but that's the way what he's going to have to do to win the fight.
He who waits on a southpaw gets licked. If he waits like that, Gil, he's definitely going to get licked. I think he's a very good fighter. He's a better technical fighter than Parlov. But Parlov has got a style that mess anybody up.
Under a minute to go in round number 2.
You know, Bill, poor Conteh, when he came out of the amateurs, fought a southpaw in his last amateur fight with Vince Spain, and he received such bad reviews, he was disgusted almost in terms of profession. I can see why he had trouble with southpaw.
Yes, he's pouring with that left hand instead of snapping. He's really trying to figure this thing out. So far, he hasn't been able to do it.
Conteh said that he had 2 fights against Finnegan, southpaw, and he thought that he knew how to handle his style. You fellows seem to think he doesn't.
Finnegan's southpaw is not a southpaw. Finnegan's a fighter. He just walks in and he throws punches. He's not a technician or a tactician in the mode of Parlov.
Even though he's a natural left-hander, you're saying he throws from both sides and is not an orthodox southpaw.
He fights you.
Final seconds of round number 2.
Hey, Pete Rose, what's a man really want from his aftershave?
No fancy perfumes or fancy bottles.
It'll be a beautiful summer evening. I think I said it was 9:30 Eastern time. Of course, it's 9:30 here. You folks back home are watching on a nice Saturday afternoon. Tim Ryan, Gil Clancy, and Angelo Dundee. We're waiting round 3, and here we go. Parlov in the blue trunks. Now circling to the right of your screen, John Conteh in white from Liverpool, England. Now living in London.
I think Conteh was listening to you, but
He threw a nice right hand behind it, so let's set up the hook. Let's see if he can do that 1-2-3 combination.
well, as you know, your best punch with a southpaw is a left hook, Gil. It looks like Parlov has no respect for Conteh. You know, Gil, watching Parlov makes me respect the Olympics very much more so when I see talent like his with all that amateur background. He's just a fantastic looking fighter.
Well, then he had a great record. He won the Olympics and won the World Amateur Championship. You know, interestingly enough, when he won the World Amateur Championship, he was on the deck twice. In the first round, he was like to knock out the Cubans.
Conteh with a good flurry. I'd like to alert our stations that at the end of this round we'll be going to a station break.
It's a great round. Both fighters staggered each other. Conteh with a right hand and Parlov with a good straight left hand.
Conteh's starting to get the range a little more now, and I think the more they punch it, the more it's going to favor.
They're both looking for a knockout. They're both looking for a knockout out enough. They're loading up on their punches. Parlov is making a mistake. He should be boxing more.
Under 30 seconds remaining.
Hooked by Conteh, staggered Parlov. That combination. Left hook underneath, right hand on his shin. Beautiful combination.
We'll be back with more action from Belgrade after this word from the local station.
This is CBS.
It takes more than talent to make it to the Olympics. It takes years of dedication, hard work, good facilities. That's why for Jill Lundeen, the Olympics may never be more than a dream. The Olympic Lottery was created to support winter physical education in New York. When you play the Olympic Lottery, you get a chance to realize your dreams, and kids like Jill Lundeen get a chance to realize theirs. This looks like an ordinary lawnmower. Look again. It's a Boland's mulching mower. While it's cutting your grass, it also cuts and recuts the clippings into tiny particles that blow down into your lawn and quickly decompose. No more raking, no more bagging.
And John, Monday night.
He's only had 2 fights in a little over a year.
Round number 4. Scheduled for 15. Conteh in the white trunks to your left now. Parlov, the champion, in blue to your right. Since Conteh broke his hand in a fight against Willie Terror August of 75, he's had only 3 fights since August of 75. Will that be a factor? What do you think, Joe?
Well, I tell you, he started to fight a little unsure of himself, but now he's starting to look like the John Conteh of old. He's really winging those punches and putting them together. Now Parlov is moving Conteh the way he wants to move.
They both proven they could take a real good punch. They both got staggered that time, and they both came back with punches. Very, very good fighters.
When Conteh gets hit hard, he goes firing back. So far, he's been a little while with those return exchanges, but he's really trying. I like the way Parlov maneuvers himself around the ring. Slides over to his right, sets Conteh up, and it just knocks in those little sneak punches. They all add up.
You know, Gil, that Conteh's fighting with a passion because you got to remember the title was taken away from him. He lost it in the ring. He was the WBC champion. It was taken away when he didn't fight weight.
No question about it. We have 2 great fighters in there, Angelo.
Got 2 champions in there, Gil. That's the big thing, and they're both fighting real good fighters.
Thirty seconds remaining in round number 4.
They're starting to bang heads in there, Gil. I wouldn't surprise either one of them to get cut up in the next couple of rounds, or maybe this round, because they're banging heads now.
Well, I wouldn't like to see either fighter lose on a cut. It's too important to fight.
Well, they're jumping in now, you notice, and that's when you have your flash your heads.
This is round number 5, live light heavyweight championship boxing action from Belgrade, Yugoslavia. Conteh Parlov on the left in blue. John Conteh now circling to the left in white. Close fight so far, fellas. How do you have it?
I've got it very close. I think there's a point either way, and it's up for grabs right now.
Yeah, right now I have it Parlov 2, Conteh 1 and 1 even. They just flashed heads in, Angelo.
I know, I've seen it coming. I've seen it coming, and I don't like the way John's trying to push and shove. He's got to stay steady, got to stay smart. Let's part of it take you apart. That's the way his game of playing.
Scored 2 shots in a row with a straight left.
Conteh's winging instead of snapping his punches, and he's trying a little too hard.
John Conteh, 27 years of age. Parlov, 29.
He got hurt with that shot, Bill. He really doubled up with it and really got staggered. I'm surprised to see him get dropped right now.
I'm still looking for Conteh to land one of those big leg hooks. If he does, then we'll see if Parlov can take it.
Well, Bill, if you look for the home run with Parlov, it never shows up.
That's right. He's got to do it on the end of something. There's no question about it. He's got to catch him coming out. Or he has to get a punch.
We're in round 5.
I like the way Parlov loves his stick.
About 30 seconds remaining in the 5th round. One of the few times we saw Parlov get himself off balance. He's good on his feet, isn't he?
Yes, he has got perfect balance. He knows what he's doing at all times.
Watching him train, he trains like a track and field man or a gymnast. He's a superior athlete.
Pretty strong guy, too. Pretty strong.
The Pony Express, nearly 2,000 tough miles from Missouri to California. That took guts. It still does. The kind built into this tire, the Sears Road Handler. We retrace the rugged, historic route of the Pony Express to show you how tough it is. Road Handler, Sears' best radio. It's the tire that took on the route of the Pony Express and made it. Wide radial design, double steel belting. The Road Handler, from the home of the radios, Sears. From the people who brought you die-high batteries, road handler tires, and steady rider shock absorbers comes the Sears Muzzler. The aluminized muffler that's only $19.99 installed. It's so tough, Sears promises the muzzler will last as long as you own your American-made car. Or return it for refund or replacement free. And if Sears installed it, they'll install the new one free. The Muzzler, only $19.99 installed. Only at Sears.
This is round number 6, and we have had plenty of action so far. John Conteh on the right of your screen now in white. Monte Parlov, the defending champion in blue. Conteh missed with that overhand, right? Doesn't seem to be favoring his right hand, the one he broke a couple of years ago. Some people thought he favored it against Yaki Lopez.
Conteh had a habit of butting in there. He just butted Parlov over his eye. And he has a history of that.
Being butted, the referee didn't say anything. We have to get straight to the end of the round to see if he thinks he was butted. Or if it was an accident or intentional butt.
Oh, no, it was intentional butt. They tried to do it the round before.
He's being warned now. I think they're using his forearm there, and we'll tell you about the butt rules because they could very well be a factor in this fight. Bleeding on the corner of his right eye, actually the corner of the eyebrow, on the right side.
Tim, it's not the bad spot in the outside of the eye. But it was definitely a technical butt. I mean, I can see it the round before it got
Conteh scored with a good right hand coming in on him.
He's fighting like a wild bull. He's really winging everything.
They're banging heads in there, like I said before.
Conteh's got to settle himself down. He's got to start thinking a little, dropping straight right hands to the body edge and set Parlov. He's never going to hit him with that big home run ball. Not that he catches him coming.
Rudy Ortega, the referee. will have to make the decisions in terms of the butts, accidental or intentional. Of course, intentional butts could lead to disqualification. Certainly the points taken away.
Tell you, the way Conteh is fighting, he's going to have to get tired. That was a straight right hand to the body by Conteh. That steps up the other punches.
Just the first round that Parlov loses his field a little bit.
Final seconds of round number 6. Spoken to both fighters. He came to Conteh first. We did not see him go to the judges, however, so he may have just been warning Conteh about the butt and may have advised Parlov that he had warned him. We'll see what develops. This is the 7th round of this scheduled 15-round championship bout. Tim Ryan, Gil Clancy, and Angelo Dundee. It has been action-packed so far.
Been a very good job done on Parlov's side. That's Branchini's son in the corner from Italy. And he did a very, very commendable job over the cut.
Tell you, Parlov is starting to just pull with that right hand. Like that right hand jab that he has, that's not a good sign. He's got to keep Conteh off with that right jab. Now Conteh's pulling down a little bit, picking the spot. See that right hand to the body? Before he threw a left hand to the body. He's getting control of himself.
I think that Conteh's listening to you, Gil. Now cut it out. I think that Parlov right now is trying to figure out how to offset Conteh's aggressiveness. He had him pretty well set up where he's nailing with shots, nailing with a good left hand. But Conteh's moving away from that left hand now.
See that right, the left, straight left hand in?
Yeah.
Most everyone agrees that Parlov uses his well-known intelligence very well in the ring. He is a graduate of economics with an economics degree from the University of Rijeka, is working on his doctorate, and he thinks in the ring.
Well, he's going to think tonight because he's in with a real good fighter in Conteh.
There's that big left hook. Conteh has to catch Parlov what's coming out. He almost caught him this time.
You ever see a style like that before, Gil? Parlov has. He got his own style.
Right, he knows just where to move. He just knows when to roll.
He waves that right hand at you.
See him just slide over to the right side. He's a tough man to fight. Tough.
Under a minute to go, round 7.
You know, he's surprising me with his physical strength. You know, Conteh's trying to pull him around the ring, but he's right with him. We have an old saying in the business, when the guy misses, make him pay. And Parlov sure did make him pay when he missed.
Final seconds of the 7th round.
They're working on that cut in the corner. They seem to be doing a very good job. I don't know what he's using, but I'm going to borrow from him.
I don't get there first.
Great looking right hand, mixed left hook, and there goes a bunch of shots. He made him pay right there, uppercut, left hook, right uppercut.
That brought the partisan crowd to its feet, that flurry, as we await round number 8. There aren't too many Conteh fans in Belgrade tonight, although members of his family and some people from Great Britain are here cheering him on.
I notice Conteh throwing right hands and throwing back with left hook. He's trying to set a pattern up. I don't think Parlov's going to run into that, but if he does, he's going to get hurt with that kind of a punch.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, Conteh's a never give up guy. He caught him on him a couple of times. I thought he was in trouble. He just grit his teeth and fire back.
I don't know what they teach this guy in economics, you know, but I tell you, he really moves around and outsmarts Conteh a lot of places. Don't make the same mistake twice.
They just clashed heads again.
Yeah.
Conteh leaps in with the left hook and their heads bang together.
He comes in with his head right behind his punch.
Parlov leading again from that same cut from the butt.
Conteh's punching in the proper places now. He's throwing that left hook underneath. It's going to bring Parlov's right hand down. And maybe he can land that left hook. In the meanwhile, he ran into a beautiful straight left hand by Parlov.
Parlov with 11 knockouts in his 21 wins. Conteh 22 knockouts and 31 victories.
Conteh's really opening up that cut more now. They're really bumping heads in there. Parlov, to me, is keeping Conteh off balance. It won't surprise me when Conteh rushes in like at the time the left hand.
Less than 30 seconds remaining in the 8th round. Now there's a visible warning and a point taken away. Rudy Ortega telling the judges to take away a point.
For him to take away the point, that means it was a second warning. It had to be Conteh's second warning to take the point.
Final seconds in round number 8.
Cut and he can't continue. That doesn't mean that Conteh wins the fight. They take the scorecards, add them up, and who's ever ahead at the time is the winner. So therefore, if this cut of Parlov's opens up more than it is and he can't continue, they'll take the scorecards. If he's ahead on the scorecards, he's the winner. So that was a very, very tough decision for Ortega to make, and he won them and took the point.
He had warned both the fighters at the rules meeting today that he was going to be very strict, and he has delivered on that count. In this case, against John Conteh. This is round number 9. Tim Ryan, Gil Clancy, Angelo Dundee at ringside of a most exciting light heavyweight championship fight for the World Boxing Council version of the title.
I tell you, Gil, this is anybody's fight. Any turn of events in this fight, the other fella could win it. It's a very good fight. I have a very close fight still. And the round he lost for the butt, I think Parlov was winning that round anyhow.
I do too, Ange. I thought Parlov had the round anyway. But I tell you, as you say, if it goes the way it's going now, I think Parlov's going to retain his title. Conteh's going to have to land one big bomb somewhere along the line to turn it around.
The odd part about this fight, Gil, I noticed that Parlov was backhanding Cuello. He has him backhanding once in this fight.
That's
He
right.
must have corrected it, and he's stinging with that jab. That left hand.
Minute remaining in the 9th round.
To the fight by John Conteh. Parlov walked right into his big right hand, didn't bother him a bit.
Good right hand. Obviously, that hand well healed from the break a couple of years ago. Conteh does not look rusty from his inactivity to me, fellas.
Well, I tell you, he looks like he's trying a little too hard. He's not the smooth John Conteh that I know.
30 seconds to go in round number 9.
I tell you, Parlov's eye is held up. There's not a drop of blood showing.
That is still the strangest jab I've ever seen. Nonetheless, it works.
But it works.
That's all it counts. Doesn't have to look good.
They say you can't fight too much, but it works. That's the important thing. Sorry, you got one worker and 6 lookers. But evidently it's working, so maybe I'll try it one night.
This is round number 10. Conteh on the left in white. Parlov on the right. Now circling to the left in the blue trunks. Throwing out that right-handed jab. He likes to load up on the left. That is apparent.
Bill, I think Conteh's trying to reach now. I think it's...
He just got nailed with 2 foot straight left hand. He's walking in.
starting to reach. Stanton's starting to go out of his shots. He's trying desperately with the big one, but he's not setting nothing up now.
You know, Parlov doesn't dance around the ring. He just seems to waddle around the ring, but he waddles in the right direction all the time. There he goes, sliding over again.
Steps on his foot, Bill. I tell you, he's back and doing it.
Rudy Ortega stopping the action here for a glove repair. The left glove, laces have come loose on Sandy Parlov's glove. And the crowd whistling here. That is a form of booing in Europe, and that's for John Conteh.
They stopped it right at the right time to help Conteh because he was in trouble.
He really paid for a miss. There's part of that flurry where he really got it. Now we're back live. This is the 10th round.
He's dead game. He's flying. He's swinging everything. Beautiful left hook to the body. I think he hurt Parlov with those 2 short left hooks underneath him.
Well, that's body shots have been the most effective punch, but he's not doing enough of it. That's his best punch, is body shot.
Hey, he's setting a tremendous pace right now, Conteh. He's don't let the action stop. Great shape for someone that's only had 2 fights a little over a year. Body shot.
Very effective.
Last 2 rounds of Conteh. If he don't come up with nothing this round. He's doing the job this round. Now Parlov is using the backhand. He's confused.
Final seconds.
Say, what cars do you...
We're back awaiting the 11th round. How do you have it so far, fellas?
I've got Parlov ahead by a couple points. I have it 6-3-1 Parlov right now.
Here's a good flurry by John Conteh in that last 10th round.
That was his best round by far. Those left hooks underneath were really hurting Parlov.
Round number 11. This has been nearly a non-stop action bout. Very few clinches. Referee Rudy Ortega from Oakland, California has been letting them work, and they've been working.
I tell you, George Francis must have told him that left hook was effective. That left hook underneath that right elbow. There it is again, because he came right out and started the fire.
There goes the tape coming loose again on Parlov's glove. They're going to have to stop the action again.
This is the right glove this time. Laces are taped down, and they've got to stop the action and the time, of course, in the round. A little blood under the right eye of John Conteh, but it may be from Matej Parlov. We'll watch that to see if he himself has a slight cut.
Conteh's going to show wear and tear around both eyes, but no breaks or cuts so far. It's holding up real well.
I'll tell you, Parlov is starting to back up in a straight line instead of going in a circle the way he was going earlier. That's why John is able to land some of those good punches that he landed last round. He just hit him with a good left hook and he opened that cut.
I'd like to alert our stations along the line. At the end of this round, we'll be going to a station break. Angelo Dundee, Gil Clancy, and Tim Ryan here at Midstar Stadium. And now Ortega, the referee, really giving Conteh a warning.
Well, the referee gave Conteh a warning and the crowd gave us a warning. It's starting to throw things.
Oh, really? Already, huh?
Well, I told him before to get the Irish guy. Those body punches of Conteh really started to take effect, Joe. And then it hurt Parlov. That's the best punches he's been throwing all night.
Less than a minute to go in round 11.
For the first time, Parlov is starting to show wear and tear, Bill. Do you notice?
Yes, he's tired now. I tell you, he's going to have to get his second win.
Yeah.
You know what happens a lot of times in a fight like this? Conteh already got his second win. Parlov hasn't yet. Got to look for him to get his second win and rally back.
Under 30 seconds to go in the 11th round. The crowd obviously behind Matej Parlov, as you might expect. He is the national sports hero of Yugoslavia.
There's that left hook underneath.
That's a punishing punch.
Yes, it is. Set up the left hook on the chin.
We'll be back with more action from Belgrade after this word from your local station.
Tony Randall, Monday, 4:30.
Round number 12 just underway. John Conteh out quickly. He is in the white trunks, now moving to the left. Parlov in blue on the right of your screen. Close fight with only these 4 rounds remaining, if it goes the distance.
Got 2 well-conditioned fighters in there, and they're really pulling out all stops. Conteh came to life the last round and looked excellent. He's trying to throw that great left hook downstairs, left hook on top. He's really taking charge.
I'm looking for Parlov to pull himself together. He's got to get that second win in. Oh, those left hooks underneath, as you say, take an awful lot out of you. Well, they say, kill the body and the head will die.
Parlov has gone 15 rounds 3 times since he turned pro 23 fights ago.
Those heads are banging again.
We know what's happened, Gil. A slip with Conteh's left hook, and he's coming inside of it, and he's going wrapping his left arm around him. This is not intentional by Conteh. He's doing a good number in there.
Parlov is confused. He goes to that backhand jab. He just did it again. I tell you, I have to commend the referee. He's done a marvelous job under the circumstances here.
A cut reopen only is worse, Gil. Bleeding worse.
Well, we may have to resort to that rule. I sure hope not.
Minute to go in round 12.
lost his balance. When he got hit by some left hand, he lost his balance.
Tired now, Edge. When you get hit with those punches, you know, they're accumulating. He started to wobble a little bit.
30 seconds remaining in the 12th round.
The referees really had control of this fight. Done a great job.
J.C. Penney presents the sport shirt that feels as good as it looks.
Angela Conteh, sister of John, here with other members of the family. He comes from a large-sized family. And here's a look at some of the action from round number 12 on replay. Here we go. Back to live action for round 13.
The last 3 rounds is what you call, this is what it's all about. The man who's got the mostest will be the winner, because you got to really take out all stops and really let it all hang out. Because these are the rounds going to decide this fight.
Hey, this is a war of attrition right now. This shows you said Angelo 2 champions are in there.
John Conteh stripped of his title for refusing to meet Miguel Cuello. Cuello went on to beat Jesse Burnett to win the championship, then lost it to Parlov.
Conteh has a swelling over his right eye. It's the largest swelling I've seen so far. Looks like a lump. I don't know where it came from.
Angelo, you said this fight would go 15, and we're in round 13.
Well, I felt, you know, they're being such great fighters and having such great body strength and being in great shape, both great competitors. I thought they would go to limit, but it wouldn't amaze me if one of them gets stopped in the next 3 rounds.
Hey, Conteh has smiled again. So, he had a good panic going with that left hook underneath. He stopped throwing it. Hey, he tried to throw again. You got to stay with what works. Parlov seems to have lost a lot of steam.
Remember, there are 3 neutral judges doing the scoring, the referee, Rudy Ortega, and 2 more Americans, Dick Young and Tony Perez.
You know, it's the first time in history 3 Americans have ever refereed and judged fights in Europe. First time in history of boxing.
Both managers said they were extremely pleased, as were the fighters. They had quibbled over European judges.
Hey, Conteh's manhandling him now.
He just lost his handle that time, you know. The other guy came back real well. He brought out a good number. He was a very good fighter.
Less than a minute remaining in round 13.
This is a great light heavyweight fight. There's that new punch you were talking about.
Conteh scoring.
That left uppercut. And that went Parlov's milkshake. Flying across the ring.
No, that was somebody threw something at you again, Joe.
It was hard, too. 10 seconds to go in the 13th round. Conteh trying the uppercut again. Away. How do you have it, fellas?
Well, I think it's up for grabs. I think Parlov has to have a big round to retain his title.
15th round, here we go.
Once the change this fight around was that left hook to the body by Conteh. Once he started to weave in and throw that punch, it changed the fight. Warning Conteh again. He took the point. That's 2 feet of time. He took another point from Conteh. That's definitely good inside.
Conteh fighting furiously as he has from the opening bell, but really going at it in these late rounds.
He's going to hit the referee and Parlov. He's going for it.
The crowd cheering Parlov's every punch, whether it lands or not. That one did.
I tell you, those 2 points that the referee seems out to Conteh, that's the same as 2 rounds. That's a big deduction.
Ten-point must system. 10 points to the winner of the round, 9 or less to the loser. So if you have one taken away, you're in a lot of trouble. Minute remaining.
Well, this minute could decide the fight.
Good shot from Parlov, and Conteh rallies back.
By Conteh.
This has been a great fight, Gil.
Oh, it's been a great fight up in the beginning. Great. Well,
I think Conteh started a little bit too late.
Less than 30 seconds. Most of the crowd now coming to its feet. What up for Conteh with that last shot?
oh, catching it coming now. Yeah. He's catching it coming. Finish. 10 seconds.
I got to applaud these 2 guys myself. Great fight.
There it is, and we'll be back with the decision.